Hello, I'm Kerr Kuhulin. I spent 25 years defending my Wiccan community and many other religious and spiritual communities in North America from lies, from misinformation. I hate crime. People would take misinformation and deliberately disseminate this with a total disregard of the effect it would have on people's lives. People lost jobs, people's health was negatively impacted, their families were disrupted, and all because what these people wanted was attention, power, and money. They would go on lecture circuits and talk about this stuff and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They would create churches, which would bring in followers, which would bring in money. And they would glory in all the attention that they got. And these people would typically do this by creating false stories about how they were the former leaders of satanic cults or survivors of satanic ritual abuse. And then people would come along and point to these stories and claim that this was proof that there was some satanic conspiracy or worldwide problem, and then present their churches as a solution to the problem. They all basically pointed to the fact that everybody was talking about it and claimed that that was evidence that this was actually happening, when in fact that's a classic symptom of an urban legend of rumors, because everyone talking about it doesn't mean that there's any foundation to any of it. So basically we've got a situation that eventually runs out of steam, because eventually the stories get out. And people like me investigate them and come up with facts and which refute their stories, and come up with arguments that refute their arguments. And over the years, nobody ever came back with much of anything. A few people threatened me but never followed through with it. The most common response was somebody writing back to say this elementary school response along the lines of, "Oh yeah, well, you're an idiot," or trying to basically shout me down, just sort of rant and scream in a written form, hoping that this would somehow intimidate me and my followers and make everybody stop. And of course, that didn't happen either. Rather sad. The latest thing that's come out of this, I've been out of this now since 2005. I retired and handed it over to other people who now investigate this stuff. But somebody at some point created a Wikipedia entry on Caracahul, and I have no idea who created it in the beginning. But somebody pointed out to me eventually it was there. And then recently, a couple of times, people have pointed out to me that somebody went on there and jumped into the edit mode, which anybody can do, and completely rewrote it into a bunch of lies, this fictional story about how I used to be a Satanist who was born to satanic parents or to Satan or whatever. So I've had to go in there and completely edit this thing I never created in the first place to give accurate information. I suppose I sort of looked at it as a reason to go in there and update my information. But it's sad that people have to resort to lies to try to get anywhere in life, instead of moving forward and living a truthful life and living a life where they feel they have some power over their life. Really sad to see people do that, because people who are following the path I do, we're out there trying to be all we can be and be glorious, and don't need to resort to that kind of stuff. So if you got a Wikipedia entry out there, or if you're not sure whether you have one, go and check and see, and make sure no one's done that to you. Hopefully they haven't, but if they have, it's very easy. Go into edit and you can change it back again. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Go out there and be glorious.